Nike teams up with Kim Kardashian's shapewear brand SKIMS. That was my initial reaction. I'm not even gonna play with you. That was my initial reaction.
Keep them relevant every year, man.
My thing, let's get to it. I'll explain why after we get into it. An article written by Gabrielle Fonrouge for CNBC. Nike has teamed up with Kim Kardashian's intimates brand, SKIMS, to launch a new line of activewear as the brand looks to win over more women and better compete with Lululemon. The new brand, dubbed Nike SKIMS. They spent so much time on that name. That's not a new name. It's just combined Nike and SKIMS. That took no effort.
What else?
Act like they just came up with a whole new name.
What else
like,
you gonna call it?
I don't know, but don't act like the new name Nike SKIMS.
I mean,
like,
go ahead, finish.
It's just a combination of the two.
Yes,
I want to empty the clip, but go ahead and
collab.
finish it because I have so many thoughts.
I do. I can't wait to hear it. Let's see. Dub Nike SKIMS will include apparel, footwear, and accessories. They will debut their initial collection in spring with a global rollout plan for 2026. It is not clear what exactly the products will look like or what items will be included in the initial collection. The only image contained in Nike's announcement was a graphic of the new brand's logo, which was just the name, by the way. It's not a logo.
Nike SKIMS.
Yeah. It's just, I tell you, the way we applaud the most basic of things, I swear to God, is just, I don't know. Anyway, Nike's partnership with SKIMS, the buzzy shapewear brand created by Kim Kardashian and Swedish entrepreneur Jens Grede, comes as Nike looks to claw back the market share as lost to upstart competitors and bring more women into the brand. See, that part right there is where I kind of got annoyed. A new activewear line with the SKIMS name attached will give Nike an in with the types of shoppers who are buying activewear with Lululemon and newer competitors such as Ala Yoga and Vuori, which cater more to women than Nike currently does. Nike has said previously that about 40% of their customers are women, but most apparel brands prefer to have more female consumers than male because they tend to shop more and spend more on clothes. Fiscal 2024, apparel only represented about 28% of Nike's brand revenue. For SKIMS, which was last valued at $4 billion, I swear to God, like $4 billion doesn't seem like a lot anymore. It just seems like everything is worth $1 billion now.
It's coming from somebody that just cashed out $60,000 for a Virgil shoe.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly.
See, here you go. Those internet rumors. The Nike partnership and access to its manufacturing and development capabilities brings a growth opportunity for a brand that is popular but still relatively small compared to its competitors. Plus, it bodes well for an initial public offering, which SKIMS has been considering. If SKIMS can show that it has more growth opportunities and a strategic partner like Nike, a public debut would be an easier sell to investors who are cautious on consumer companies amid tariff concerns, persistent inflation, and a pullback on discretionary spending. Now, the part that I get annoyed by ain't even so much the partnership with Kim Kardashian, even though, if her and her family were to disappear tomorrow, I wouldn't cry.
You need to leave.
But it's the fact that, one, Nike, the idea that, I've said this before, most new ideas come from upstarts, not from existing companies, because new ideas require risk that for whatever reason they don't want to take. And for a company like Nike, that's how you build your whole reputation. And then now to find you in a position where, now you have to team up with SKIMS because you need to borrow some of their juice in order to get to women I feel like there's a level of laziness on their part because you lost market share and now you're trying to get it back. You lost market share because, once again, you don't know who your consumer is. You don't know how to appeal to them. Because I remember the first time we went to Nike, Guru, he can corroborate, we had a whole conversation about how to reach women. And I remember asking them. Matter of fact, we had two women sitting there and a bunch of dudes had something to say. Women sitting right there. And finally, I was like, all right, y'all want to know how to get the women, and instead of just asking the 2 women that are sitting right here, he's gonna let all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're trying to reach women, ask women. Why is that such a profound idea? I don't know, but it's ridiculous. And so when you see shit like that, it's no wonder how you lost market share, right? But then it's like, instead of trying to figure it out as you've always done, no, let's just buy that company and just, absorb them into what we get. And then to think that women are just going to flock all of a sudden to Nike just because you got SKIMS. But it's like, but the reason SKIMS was able to reach women is because they knew what women were looking for, just like Lululemon, just like all these other brands, right? They didn't just say, okay, well, what is Nike doing? Or let's just absorb somebody else's shit into our shit and then try to put our name on it and act like it's us. No, like, let's figure out, like, let's tap into what the consumer wants. And instead of trying to figure that out, because God forbid Nike takes any effort to figure out what the customers want, let's just buy a brand, absorb them into us, spend days on a name just to come up with Nike SKIMS. And like, because I promise you, they probably had like 10 meetings trying to figure out a name, only to settle on, let's just combine the 2.
He ain't lying.
So it's just annoying to me because, like I say, you always see this happen where new ideas come from upstarts, and then once they become viable, that's when the big corporations just buy them out and absorb them. And then inevitably, whatever was good about that brand is over time gets lost because it becomes corporate. And they just find some way to fuck it up. So anyway, go ahead, girl.
It's a couple things. One, you lost. This is back when I was a store manager, and they had flew me, and they had picked it like out of all our store managers in the entire company. It was me and like 5 other managers. They flew us out to Chicago and was like, "Hey, we want to get y'all feedback because I guess in between the store I was working for, a buying team, and Nike, there was some misfires, right? We would never have enough women's clothing. Then there was some stuff that was sitting, so we had this meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the women's buyer was like, "Hey, I'm the women's buyer. Don't be mad at me." It's just like, well, when we heard their pitch, they didn't have enough belief at that time in their women's product. And then once it started to sell, instead of them feeding and leaning into that, they just kind of like stayed like level-headed to the point where with women, just like in relationships, they're going to ask for something. And they're going to ask. And the moment they stop asking, they're going to go somewhere else and get it. Which is why your Lululemons blew up. Which is why, like, they went other places to get their wear, which is SKIMS wear and all that, right?
But what happened to R&D? Like, I just...
But because they've been detached for so long. I said detached, but they've been a little bit behind.
That's the right word.
Yeah, behind so long, you're trying to, at the rate that they got the shareholders, you got corporate people, so you're trying to catch up faster. The middle point between R&D and the SKIMS is like, hey, if I could steal you from that company to come give me what you got, instead of just partnering with that whole company. And they probably did it because she got to deal with the NBA. They gave her one about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's
so they figure like, oh, we just, what the Jay-Z say when you get tagged lane, follow the leader. Like that's just how it's going. So to me personally, just go back into the lab. You do focus groups, or what you can do is, here's another cheat code. Do a collaboration with Glamaholics. Do a collaboration with them. Just give it a little sentiment and see how those designers put things together and like note that and then take that back to your kitchen and do it. Like if I go to a cooking class and I know you use Old Bay seasoning on everything, then I'm like, okay, word. And when I get back, I'm gonna chef it but put my own touch to it. So now I got what's hot plus what I like to do best, and then boom.
Yeah. Now I get from a SKIMS point of view why they would do it. Like,
no, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about why Nike is SKIMS. Because that's what SKIMS gonna do. That's probably what they're gonna do. They're gonna do the deal with Nike, and then they're gonna start shopping for investors. And guess what? Yep. If I just sign a deal with Nike and I got to deal with the NBA, if I want to sell the company, I'm gonna get top dollar.
Yep.
Stock price is gonna be
They got the NBA, WNBA,
and
they got stars, movie stars. They got
it's brilliant athletes. On SKIMS part. Like
why do they need Nike?
No, like for the manufacturing, because now it's like instead of having to source it out, like you got their manufacturing capabilities. And then, like you said,
that's an extra distribution channel too, because now that's going to be in all of the Nike stores.
And like if you talking about going public, having Nike as a partner, like you said, that stock price is going to go up because they see Nike's name attached to it.
What else? What else is it that they can add to it?
Nothing
Of what it actually is?
No,
like it's literally what is it? Leggings, sports bras.
I mean, I'm sure they. You know what it is?
Bodysuits.
It's really the
like,
Yeezy, it's the Yeezy supply version of Lululemon. That's
like
exactly
that, but that's
it
what I'm
is.
saying. Is like I don't see anything that Nike can add to it other than it being in a Nike store.
I can tell you what they're gonna do. They might have something that they were too afraid to put out there in the market, right?
That they don't want to just put their name behind. They don't put
so it's
the
like,
SKIMS name behind.
So
it.
now they put it with SKIMS. Now two things can happen. One, if it's good, they can claim part ownership of that success. But then if it does bad, that was SKIMS.
But see, that's what I was saying. What if Nike's part that they want to change something, it messes up what's already out there by SKIMS.
But that's the risk. But now that risk is mitigated. Now you share that risk as opposed to like if Nike comes out and that product ain't what it wanted to be, then that's like in their eyes they wasted time and money.
You can say both are taking a risk, but I feel SKIMS is taking more of a risk because they're already popular.
I think because guess what? If I don't like your Nike collaboration, I'm just gonna buy from your regular website.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be fine. It's just that Nike might have more to lose because it's just like, okay, you can't make women clothes on your own. Then you get with the number one women's cleavage, and you mess that up too. People really gonna lose faith in you.
So SKIMS will still be able to sell their own product on their own site.
Because
even
right
Nike
now,
is okay.
They
with
even got
that.
to drop product and they price then went up. Think about it. Because like the partnership with the NBA, the partnership with Nike, investors are gonna just look at that like, okay, you obviously doing something right to get those types of deals. So if they were to go public.
That's why I said to me that's just an extra source of distribution because not even just with it being something in the Nike stores, but like even some of the like a Dick's Sporting Goods. Like I don't know if they sell SKIMS. They probably have like the DSG, the Dick's Sporting Goods version of like what SKIMS brand is, but
and to be in that Nike section,
it's going to be there. So it's almost like it. I get it from a Nike side. I get it from this aspect only, like what Guru said. You completely lost out on like that demographic, that customer. This is the
shortcut.
Exactly. This is the easy way.
I just hope with SKIMS teaming up with Nike that there's some women in the decision making process.
Man,
it's not gonna be good.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The partnership ain't gonna mean shit if you don't have the same people.
I have a feeling the women that's gonna be in the decision making process is gonna be Kim Kardashian and her team.
I hope so.
Like just 100% them. But again, to everything we're saying, it should include some of the people that are in house. Like for SKIMS to have a relationship with Nike, 100%, it should be some form of like an Asia Wilson, Nike SKIMS like collab.
Utilize the women that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then it's like, okay, that could be something real big. But if you're not gonna do that, if you're just gonna basically just live off Kim Kardashian and SKIMS and just say, we just gonna, distribute it, with the logo on there.
Yeah.
Like,
but
what are you
she
doing?
might not care because guess what? One, she could still sell her product with her own touches via directly too. Yeah. Number two, she probably looking to ship this because I can come off of the dumb lick off of the, you know what I'm saying? I can sell this and get at least $1.5-2 billion off of it. So her caring, and then you got to think Nike and Kim, they have to go back to black women to get their sauce or a black man to get their sauce.
He ain't lying.
So it's like you circumventing instead of just going straight to the source.